When we talk about human sexuality, we often reduce it to labels, gay, straight, bi, but the truth is far more complex. What if I told you that a large number of people who've had same gender experiences don't actually identify as gay or bisexual? In the US, around 7% of women and 8% of men openly identify as gay, lesbian, or bisexual. But when researchers ask about experiences, not just identities, the numbers tell a very different story. Let's explore the gap between identity and experience and what it tells us about human nature. Sexual identity is how a person defines their orientation. It's a label, often chosen based on how someone feels inside, but it doesn't always match their behavior or experiences. For example, someone might have had a same-gender encounter in college, but still identify as straight. Another might feel attraction to the same gender, but never act on it. Others might reject labels altogether. So when surveys focus only on identity, they miss a large part of the picture. According to data from the National Survey of Family Growth and other major studies, about 19% of women in the US report having had at least one same-gender sexual experience in their lives. Among men, the number is around 6 to 8%, depending on the study. But here's the twist. Only a fraction of those individuals actually identify as lesbian, gay, or bisexual. This means a significant portion of people have had same-gender experiences without embracing the associated identity. Why is that? There are many reasons people might not identify with their experiences. Social stigma. In many cultures and communities, identifying as LGBTQ can still carry risk of judgment, exclusion, even violence. Internal conflict. Some people struggle to reconcile their feelings with religious or cultural beliefs. Curiosity and fluidity. Some people are simply exploring, especially during youth, and may not see it as a fixed part of who they are. So even though same-gender experiences happen, they might not change how a person defines themselves. Coined by psychologist Dr. Lisa Diamond, sexual fluidity means that attraction and behavior can change over time, and they don't always align with fixed labels. Someone might feel mostly straight, but still have one or two meaningful same-gender relationships. Another might be mostly gay, but fall for someone of the opposite sex. In other words, for many people, sexuality is not black and white, it's a spectrum. Even the Kinsey scale, created in the 1940s, reflected this. It rated sexual orientation on a scale from 0 to 6, acknowledging that many people fall somewhere in between. So why does all this matter? Because it challenges the way we talk about people. It reminds us that identity is personal, private, and often more nuanced than we think. It also highlights the importance of safe spaces, open conversation, and respecting people's journeys, even if they don't fit into neat categories. Understand this can reduce stigma, support mental health, and help people feel seen and accepted, no matter where they fall on the spectrum. So the next time you hear a statistic about how many people are gay or bi, remember, the real number might be much higher depending on how you ask the question. Sexuality isn't just about identity, it's also about experience, emotion, attraction, and evolution. And maybe, just maybe, we're all more fluid than we've been told. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Do you ever feel like the world is divided into just two groups, those who love men and those who love women? Have you ever felt that your sexual orientation defines your entire identity? Today, let's break free from these rigid boxes and explore the fascinating reality of human sexuality. You see, when it comes to our romantic and sexual interests, life is a lot more complicated than a simple binary. In fact, recent studies show that a large number of people who have had experiences with the same gender do not identify as gay or bisexual. They are straight. So today, let's dive into the data and uncover the surprising truth. Imagine a world where everyone's sexual orientation neatly fits into two categories. You're either straight or you're not. This is the perspective many of us grew up with, but it's far from the whole story. As we gather here, we want to challenge this narrow view and embrace the beautiful complexity of human sexuality. Before we dive into our discussion, we invite you to subscribe so you never miss out on our thought-provoking content. Your support means everything to us. Now let's get started. Now, before we delve into the data, let's clarify what we mean by sexual identity and sexual experience. Sexual identity is how a person sees themselves in terms of their romantic and sexual orientation. It's a deeply personal aspect of who we are. On the other hand, sexual experience encompasses the actual behaviors and relationships we engage in. These two aspects are not always the same. According to data from the National Survey of Family Growth and other major studies in the United States, approximately 7% of women and 8% of men openly identify as gay, lesbian, or bisexual. However, when researchers dig deeper and explore sexual experiences, the numbers paint a different picture. Studies show that around 19% of women and 6 to 8% of men have had at least one same-gender sexual experience in their lifetime. This suggests that a substantial number of individuals who have engaged in same-gender relationships or experiences do not necessarily identify as gay, lesbian, or bisexual. This gap between identity and experience raises fascinating questions. Why do some people who have had same-gender experiences identify differently? What does this tell us about human sexuality and the complexities of our desires and attractions? There could be several reasons why some individuals who have had same-gender experiences do not identify as gay, lesbian, or bisexual. Let's explore a few of them. Social stigma. In many parts of the world, there is still a significant social stigma associated with identifying as LGBTQ+. The fear of being judged, ostracized, or even facing violence or discrimination can cause individuals to hide their sexual experiences and may lead them to not identify with these labels. Internalized homophobia or heterosexism. Some people may struggle with internalized homophobia or heterosexism due to societal conditioning and stereotypes. They may feel conflicted or ashamed about their same-gender experiences because of deeply ingrained cultural beliefs and values. The fluidity of sexual orientation. Sexual orientation is not necessarily static or fixed. Some individuals may experience sexual fluidity, meaning their attractions and desires can change over time. People who identify as mostly straight may occasionally have same-gender experiences without labeling themselves as bisexual or gay. Personal definition of identity. Each person has their own definition of what it means to be gay, lesbian, or bisexual. Some may define it narrowly based on exclusive same-gender relationships, while others may have a more inclusive definition. Differences in self-identification can contribute to the gap between experiences and identity. Differences in measurement. Surveys and studies rely on specific questions and measurement tools to collect data on sexual behavior and identity. The wording of questions and the context in which they are asked can influence how people respond. There may also be limitations to how people categorize or label their experiences when responding to surveys. It is important to recognize and respect the diversity of human sexuality and the complexities of people as sexual experiences and identities. So, what does this tell us about human nature? The gap between sexual identity and experience suggests that human sexuality is incredibly diverse and multifaceted. Our desires, attractions, and behaviors do not always fit neatly into predefined categories. It challenges the traditional binary view of sexuality and encourages us to embrace the fluidity and complexity of human nature. Moreover, it highlights the importance of creating safe spaces for individuals to explore their sexualities without fear of judgment or discrimination. Everyone should feel comfortable to identify and express themselves however they choose or not choose to identify at all. Understanding and accepting the full spectrum of sexual orientations and experiences, essential in fostering a more inclusive and empathetic society. In conclusion, when we talk about human sexuality, it's crucial to move beyond simplistic labels and categories. A significant portion of people who have had same-gender experiences do not identify as gay or bisexual. They are straight. Their sexualities exist on a spectrum, and their experiences should be respected and embraced. By challenging the traditional binary view of sexuality, we can create a more accepting and inclusive world. Remember, sexuality is not just about identity, it's also about experience, emotion, attraction, and evolution. And maybe, just maybe, we're all more fluid than we've been told. We hope this video has given you a new perspective on human sexuality. If you found it thought-provoking, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment below. Your engagement means the world to us. Subscribe for more insightful content on identity, society, and human behavior. Thanks for watching.